Hello, this is Bidoof, here to give you an in-depth guide on the second Dragon Raid boss, Xiolotl. I don't really like saying that, so I'll just call it Dark Dragon for the remainder of this video. If you like the following information I'm providing of this raid, be sure to leave a like and sub to help this small YouTuber out. Okay, while this fight's damage check is less than the first dragon is Corgi, it has more dangerous patterns and mechanics than is Corgi. Think of it like if you did hard mode Goblin day 1 versus Tina's Mind Realm day 1. Goblin had a higher DPS check than Tina, but Tina had more attacks throughout the dungeon that kills you. Pretty much the same case for is Corgi versus the Dark Dragon, so pay attention to what I'll be explaining here. If you also want the written guide of this, then it'll also be in Maxroll, link to that in the description. So to start, this raid gives a few more runic alloy shards, which means if you run is Corgi and Dark Dragon normal and hard mode this week, then you can craft your 4-piece set if you already have your 2-piece set from last week. Dark Dragon also has a guild buff after 20 unique members have cleared the raid. The party comp for Dark Dragon is the same as is Corgi. You should run it in either a 12-man or 20-man party. For 12-man, you should have 2 tanks, 2 supports, and 8 damage dealers. For 20-man, you can have 2 or 3 tanks, 3 or 4 supports, and the rest being damage dealers. Now let's explain the main mechanics. This is what your raid team is going to struggle on the most. Right before you begin the fight, allow your tanks to get into position. They should always be positioned at this location. That way, when the first mechanic, Void Corruption Banishment, happens, the portal is placed here. The portal always spawns in front of the Dark Dragon. Having the portal spawn here allows the parties that go inside the portal to spawn in a safe area, while the tank pulls the mobs to the group to kill. Around 55 seconds after the fight begins, the Dark Dragon begins the Void Corruption Banishment mechanic. This mechanic always reoccurs in the fight. The first thing that happens is a portal spawning in front of the Dark Dragon. This portal will be up for 5 seconds. In hard mode and above, going inside the portal inflicts a debuff that prevents you from going inside again for a period of time. To counter this, you ideally want party 1 and 3 to go inside the portal, then party 2 and 4 take the second portal that occurs later in the fight. Generally, the Dark Dragon dies after the second portal. If for some reason your damage is low, then you should have party 1 and 3 also take the third portal, and party 2 and 4 take the fourth portal later in the fight. Once inside, you are placed in a different room with robots. The goal is to kill the 3 battle mechs with rune marks on their head. You have 45 seconds to do this mechanic before the raid wipes. Stay away from the red robots as they deal a lot of damage. Before you deal damage, wait for the tank to gather the 3 battle mechs to you. In hard mode and above, there are green robots that the tank gathers the mechs to. Ideally, the tank gathers the mechs to the green robot where your group spawned at. Once gathered, the tank uses any skills with interrupt to temporarily disable the green robot's damage immunity domain. Continue interrupting the green robots so that the damage dealers can kill the robots. If you have a Lifebind Oracle, then they can use Blossom Charge skill on the green robots to assist the tanks. After the 3 mechs die, pick up the runes to use for the next mechanic. Meanwhile, for the people outside that didn't take the portal, the fight is simple. Just damage the Dark Dragon while the tank does tank things. Stay away from the tank since there are some patterns that can hurt the damage dealers in this phase. You will notice that when you pick up a rune, you get an icon of the rune on top of your character. When you respawn into the main room with the Dark Dragon, find the statue with the matching rune icon. You may have noticed already that there are 4 egg statues in this map, 1 on each side of the map. Since they have different runes each time, there is no point in remembering which egg statue is which. The game makes it actually really easy to distinguish where to go, as each egg statue also glows a specific color during this mechanic. In my case, I had a double diamond rune. I was able to easily find it in this run because it had a dark blue purple look to it, which matches the glow the egg statue has. Once I'm at the statue, I use my additional button press to place a shield. This shield prevents a moving wall from coming close. This wall kills anyone that touches it. There are always 3 walls that spawn in the mechanic since there are 3 of the 4 egg statues that are always active. And then when the walls spawn, you will get a notification that the Dark Dragon has gained a new attack. The dragon uses this new attack immediately and can use it periodically again later in the fight. The attack is based on which seal is removed. It is random which seal is removed, by the way. The dragon can remove the seal from its wings, tail, and legs. Don't worry about the attacks it gains from the tail or legs, as these don't deal that much damage. Just face tank these while the support heals it. The one you have to worry about though is the wings. When the wings unlock, the Dark Dragon becomes immune to all damage and hovers from the center to release dark flame walls. These flames rotate around the map, dealing massive damage to anyone that touches it. They may not appear like walls, but they are. Trying to jump over these walls will still deal massive damage and usually one-shots most classes. These walls always rotate clockwise with the boss, so just follow the rotation and you're fine. In hard mode and above, the Dark Dragon also releases dark flame waves that originate from the center and travel outwards. You can actually jump over these. And then once you got the hang of it, congratulations, you just did the main mechanics of the fight, which is the hardest part. Remember that the start of the main mechanic always reoccurs and you have to alternate which groups have to go in due to a debuff that you obtain. Now let's go over the major patterns that occur. These patterns, from my experience in China, pose a threat to people on or below ability score recommendations for this raid. Let's go over one of the most dangerous ones, which is Void Mist Spray. The Dark Dragon stands up, roars, and gives players a large telegraph. Only one player is marked by default, but increases by 1 each difficulty up to 3 on Nightmare. If you get this telegraph, quickly move it to the edge of the arena, away from the raid team. Failure to quickly identify if you have the marker and moving to the side can quickly kill your team since these telegraphs deal significant damage. Note that you cannot take damage from your own telegraph. Once the telegraph explodes, you're safe to proceed to fighting the dragon again. The next dangerous pattern is Void Corruption Afterimage. The boss shouts and spawns 2 dark afterimages that point a line at 2 players. Other players need to stand on the line to help soak the damage since this is a stacking pattern. However, do not stack the lines with each other as tanking 2 dark lines can instantly kill you. Players with the line should also back away from the boss to give players room to go to the line. A few seconds after the line explodes, proceed to fighting the boss again. Another dangerous pattern is another stacking pattern. The Dark Dragon roars, but this time 3 players will receive a stacking marker. After a few seconds, these markers explode. If you have the marker, you should do one or 2 things. Either stack with nearby players, or run far away and use iframe or damage mitigation skills, such as Frost Mage's Frost Shelter skill. You can also stack the markers so more players can stack on each circle, but it's risky in this fight since more people are bound to spread out. This method works a lot better though in the Light Dragon, which is the next raid after this. Once the markers explode, resume fighting the Dark Dragon. The next pattern is the Divine Seal Discharge. Sometime after the main mechanic, all 4 egg statues can fire 3 projectiles in a cone shape, indicated by many telegraphs on the floor. Simply get out of the red telegraphs. If you are not a tanky class, then do not try to soak these projectiles as they can deal high damage and actually kill you. Next is Contagious Disease. The dragon does a light slam on the ground, stands up, then roars to give several random players a damage dealing telegraph. This telegraph explodes, causing anyone in it to take damage and reapplies the telegraph to nearby allies. The way to resolve this pattern is to stay away from nearby players or slowly navigate away from the boss. And then the final dangerous pattern is the donut. There will be a red donut that spawns. The very edge as well as the center of the arena are the safe spots. The boss then briefly shouts, which causes you to be pushed back. After some time, the donut then explodes. This is the least threatening attack in this video, but can still deal a lot of damage to under ability score players. After those mechanics and patterns, everything else are pretty easy and don't require me to explain. That is pretty much it for everything you need to know about the Dark Dragon. I will now show a full example run of the Dark Dragon. Thank you once again for listening.